Hiya, welcome back to the channel. Well, today we're going to be replying to an old saying, or a saying which you hear where people say you can't polish a turd. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to in fact try and polish a turd. But first, obviously, as you can see, the shitter isn't the cleanest, so we better go and do phase one of the detailing and polishing process, which involves an intense wash and paint decontamination process. So there, as you can see, we've got phase one of the intense exterior detail complete. So next, we'll look at some points of interest. Yes. 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 And these are places that I'm going to try and attack with the intense paint correction saga. And I mean, yes. Don't think you can correct paint that's come off though, so we'll try. And what I'm actually going to do is, the plan is you see this side. Oh yeah, another yes. That's from a previous video that didn't go too well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mask off one side of the car. So I'm going to polish half of the car. You know, like these really sick wraps that people put on where they change one side of the car to the colour of the other side of the car. Well, my car's going to be clean on one side and dirty on the other. Not decided which side yet. Probably clean this side. And then I'm going to leave it and then see. We'll also see if it keeps the dirt off a little bit better as well. So what we're going to use to do this feat of excellence, and the answer to that question is only the best of products. We've got a Ryuiki polisher, you know, eBay special. That was 35 quid, including, if we look here, we've got all this shit with it, which I don't know which one to use first or anything. I'm going to use the roughest one first and then go down to the softest one. That's the only way I can see it's sort of logical to do it. And I've got this, which, to be honest with you, this wasn't much cheaper than the actual buffer. I think that were about 12 quid. But most people, or a lot of people, have probably heard of that Meguiars Ultimate Compound, which seems to be the stuff that you use if you just want to do it in one go and not use like an abrasive one, then a finer one. And look, it works. It shows it on the front, before and after. And that's something like what my car will look like, but blue, and the line will be up the middle rather than diagonal. So let's see if I can find an extension and get set up. But actually, first, I could do with trying to remove this tiger seal, which is from a previous video. So I'll just try and gently cut it off without cutting into the paintwork. Nice and caressingly, like lovingly like that, and get the majority of it off. I was going to keep on going around it like this, and then we'll see what we're left with. Okay, so a lot of it does appear to have come off, but when I get close to the paint with it, as expected, I do cause some quite intense scratches. So I'm going to try and use this toffee wheel, which I've used in other videos, to see if that works. I don't think it will. Okay, so that does absolutely nothing. And so it seems that tiger seal is quite a strong adhesive. I don't know why I thought it'd be anything else other than hard to get off, because tigers are strong. So what I'm going to try and use is some carb cleaner. And then if this doesn't work, I'm just going to scratch it off or leave it. I haven't decided yet. See if this attacks it. Probably attack all the paint underneath it, and then the tiger seal will come off with the paint. Either way, it'll be a success, won't it? Also doing nothing. And carb cleaner is quite aggressive. I mean, it's a lot more aggressive than brake cleaner, so I wouldn't recommend spraying it on your paintwork. Okay, maybe I did give an opinion on that before I actually test it properly, but it does seem to soften it up a little bit, enough so it's easy to scratch off. And then I've scratched it down so it's really close to the paint, and then when there's little bits on it, the carb cleaner does actually get it off, but only when it's already thin. Also, what's quite surprising is, I don't know if you can see that there, know if you can see it. Let's try and get it in light. That's from another video, and that is the scratch pen. And I'm surprised the carb cleaner hasn't washed that off and it's even stayed on actually, because that was a couple of years ago I think now. But this is working, so I'm going to carry on proceeding and doing this until all this tiger seal is removed before continuing with the polishing. Yes. And as you can see, we've completely removed the tiger seal, doing minimal damage and scratching, and unless you actually look in the general direction of the vehicle, you will never know that that was actually ever there. I mean, if you look over there, can't tell that that was ever there. Hopefully, I think I'm going to polish this side. So that might go a bit better, and that probably won't go any better. We'll come back for that in a minute. And now I'm pretty much ready to do some polishing, but yes, do we expect anything fucking less? So I'm going to try and dry the car a bit first with an old windscreen wiper and some Donacilleries. I'll go over the car, try and get a bit of this rain off, and see if the rain stops for long enough for me to actually try and do this. Fuck it, that'll do. So after meticulously drying the shitter and fitting a masking tape stripe so I can polish faster, my cut-off line for one side, started pissing it down. Yes. Right, so now I've waited as long as I can possibly wait. Yes. Appears to have a seal inside the lid of the bottle. At least it is actually definitely new then. Right, so as I was saying is, it seems to be raining a little bit every now and then. I don't know, that's probably enough. I'm not exactly an expert polisher here, but it seems to be raining a little bit on and off. But a little bit of water probably won't do any harm anyway, so let's just see what happens. Yes.
Myself wondering what did happen to the last 10. I ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back again. It's kind of funny that the more we pass time, the more we need to set the rewind. And 19 was the year I had to leave you, but now I'm seeing all the signs. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours again. Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 get something from nothing. I sit here looking for an answer. Maybe the biggest question was in the last chapter. You gave me the soul I have today. Without you I never could have moved away. But now I see what you teach. I do believe I always should have stayed. Yeah. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised.
And that is probably about all the polishing I can do on the bonnet. So I've put that on just to clean the polish off and see what it looks like underneath really. And the buffer is doing all right, but it does smell a little bit like bonfire night. So I want to just clean that off and then see what that looks like before carrying on with the rest of the car. It started raining again. There's a surprise. But as far as how the bonnets come out, it does look like it's a different colour. It looks a lot better colour wise. a lot of the scuffs and what have you from the Tiger Seal and the area around it, apart from the deep scratches that I put in taking it off, has gone. This is unsalvageable in any way, shape or form, so that's just as expected. So now is exciting. I'm going to pull this off and see what colour like. See if you can see the difference. Look at that. And well, as you can see, even though it's underneath rain clouds, it is different. It's like a more light, it's going to look like a lighter, brighter blue actually. So, when it starts raining, I'll attempt to do the rest of the shitter. I don't think it actually is going to stop raining, so I'm just going to try and do it in the rain. Now this one could be interesting because there's loads of scratches on here for some reason. And apart from the obvious, the fact that it's covered in polish and shit, underneath it does seem to be coming up a bit shinier. Now it's not going to get this off where all this blistering is, which I pointed out earlier. It's never going to get that off. And I've got to here, but I'm using this. Hold on. Yes. I'm using that to hold my phone, and my phone keeps on falling off, and I keep having to grab my phone, and it's been a pain in the arse. And I think I've showed as much as the polishing as what I'm doing, as what's necessary. So I'm just going to carry on with it now, and then I'll return when I've done the whole half of the car. Yes. Yes. Right, so I think that I have done now half of the car. I mean, obviously, as you can see, it's still covered in polish, so we can't actually see if it's done any benefit or not at the moment. So I think what I need to do now is go right back to where we started. Check out the sick beading. And here we are. The plan is to run it back through here to get all the polish off. I mean, it's pissing down, but at least when it dries I might be able to tell the difference, and if it's actually done anything by then, which I'm pretty sure it has actually. Yes. And I think that these are actually my personal favourite part of this car wash. I mean, I don't know if they actually do anything, but you can hear them sort of like swatting inside a door pretty good as they come round and doing a drying technique. But they've never knocked anything off yet, and I've been through it quite a few times. Now the car is lovely, brand new, clean, and it was dry, but it appears to be pissing down as ever. So let's go and see if we can see any difference. I suspect I might have to wait until tomorrow when it's a bit lighter. So this is the untouched side, and as we go around, I don't know if you can pick them up on camera, but it does seem that it is shinier, and that bit's definitely shinier, and this bit's in the dark, you won't be able to see anything. Fuck it, I'll wait until tomorrow. And tomorrow has now come, and as you can probably tell, this is the side that I haven't polished, which it's hard to get it to show on camera, but the paint is really dull. Now the other side I'm going to show in a second. I'll probably turn the car around to show it actually, but I'll walk round and don't know if the difference will show up there, but round here this is significantly better, significantly brighter, and way more sick. But as you can see, we have got a problem, and it is showing up on the camera actually, the problem. I don't need to turn the car around. I've got loads of wheel marks in it. I'm not quite sure how to get rid of them, so I'm going to watch a proper YouTube video on how to polish a car and see if I can suss out how to get rid of the shitters. And I think what I've got to do is use one of these pads, which do seem a bit softer, so it does sort of make sense. So I'm just going to use the same polish as I was using, because I'm pretty sure that this isn't that abrasive, where you have to use a finer one after it. So I use a finer sponge, and I'm just gonna put it on quite slow and not push on as hard. I think the problem that I've done actually is more that I've pushed on too hard. I'm just gonna push them a bit that hard so it just compresses them a little bit and see how that comes out, which does actually seem to be working surprisingly well. And that is as much as, well, to be honest, as much as I'm willing to do now. So I'm gonna get my micro penis cloth and give it, oh, look at that, that is actually significantly better. Yes. Right, I want to carry on wiping everything off to get rid of all the polish that I've left on. And I'll come back and see how it looks. And as you can clearly see, it is significantly better. I wasn't actually holding up much up, but when I'd done it yesterday and then went through the car wash and then looked at it and it had a load of swirl marks in it, which didn't seem to be wiping off. I thought, oh right, maybe it's not going to be that good, this. But now I've gone over it with a finer pad on it, it is actually, looks so much better. I might actually just turn it round so the sun's on it. Yes. Right, so I don't know how well it's showing up on camera. I think it's showing up quite well. But the car actually looks now more like it's got an Instagram filter on it in real life. You know, the colour-wise, it is so much brighter to look at than what it was and what the other side is. There are a couple of marks on it where I've not gone over it with my micro cloth and missed a few bits of polish which need wiping off. But other than that, like I say, it looks so much better. As you'd expect, you know, when you've just spent a bit of time polishing something. I don't know. Yes. So there, anyway, looks like you can actually polish a turd. Or half of one at least. So anyway, I'm not gonna release the video yet because I'm gonna leave it a couple of weeks or a week or so and see if this side stays cleaner. Obviously, polishing it hasn't touched all this blistered paint, which is actually underneath the paint. It never were gonna. Or like that big dint there, it was never gonna touch that either. You know, I can't really expect it to do that. But the bits of paint that are still on the car have come up really nice. So I'm gonna leave it a couple of weeks, like I said, and then see if it stays cleaner. And I didn't even need to leave it a couple of weeks. The short answer to it is, well, this is the unpolished side, and as we go around, we can see that the polished side is pretty much just as dirty. It's got a few more water lines in it as though it's running off a little bit slippy or whatever. I mean, I was hoping that it was going to be so smooth that the dirt wouldn't stick to it. I mean, when I'm driving it now, I can actually feel the car pulling to the right because the left-hand side is more aerodynamic, so it's trying to go like faster on the left-hand side now. But no, it seems that the dirt still does stick to the shitter. So the only one thing left to do is go through here again and see if it comes up as clean as it was when I just polished it. Because everyone knows that an automatic car wash is the best thing for freshly polished paintwork. So let's find out.
Here we go again.
And it appears that it's actually just come up the same. It doesn't appear to be any different. If I look at this bit closely, it's still nice and lovely and polished. So it appears that the car wash hasn't actually scratched it, or not that I can see without a microscope or something. Anyway, I think that wraps this one up. That's about it for this one. I haven't put any protection on the paint because, well, I ain't got any. I think when you polish it, you take the protection off, but I don't think this had any left on it anyway. I mean, it's like 15-year-old or something more now. So yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Instagrams and all the usual bullshit. And see you next time.